about, do you think sometimes you put the interests of your team before yourself?
Well, my whole life represented around Coventry, and I believe that Coventry Coventry's good fortune came before my good fortune. Or that is really a roundabout way of saying, but I'd rather make sure that Coventry won than I won.
Mm. And do you think that perhaps is a bit lacking today, that riders tend to look after themselves instead of their team?
Well, as my father would say, they think in ones. The ones are themselves.
Mm.
We move on to a glorious sunny afternoon cine clip from the Brandon Hive on the occasion of Nigel Boocock's testimonial meeting. Dateline, June the 22nd, 1975. It was a Superstars International 4-team tournament that done Nigel proud. For the Union Jacks, Ray Wilson, Peter Collins, Dave Jessup, Terry Betts, Malcolm Simmons. For the Scandinavians, Bernie Persson, Tommy Nielsen, Soren Carlson, Egger Stanglin and Ollie Nygren. For the Lions, the man himself, Nigel Boocock, Jimmy McMillan, George Hunter, Chris Pusey, Chris Morton. For the Australasians, Ivan Major, Bruce Cribb, Johnny Bolger, Billy Sanders and Bob Valentine. Well, we feature in a moment or two a brief glimpse of 3 of the races. And here comes Nigel with his wife, Cynthia, chauffeur driven by his mechanic, Roy Adams.
Funny incidents, like when I rode for Bristol, I raced with Bruce Cribb, and Bruce and I have got a meeting in Germany or wherever it was, and so we took our wives and bikes on the back of the car truck and away we went. Well, I wrote for Bristol Bulldogs, as I say at the time. I'm telling you this because I got to mention the Bulldogs. And so on our way home, we pulled up at the uh, customs and whatever, passport control, and the man said to Brigo, "Have you got anything to declare?" And Cribby said, I'm saying Brigo, Cribby said, yes, 2 bulldogs in the front and 2 bitches in the back, meaning our wives. And I think that was a very, very natural joke, and it was straight off cuff. Another unfortunate incident was in my last season at Exeter. Now then, I was top point scorer for Exeter, and I was going on quite well, but it was in the first turn at Exeter Speedway. Somebody bumped me on the first lap, on the first corner, and I went over the wrong side of the bike and kept hold of the handlebars and wore my finger away in the dirt. Now then, I was taken to hospital and was advised that with 3 skin grafts they could put my finger right, but I wouldn't be able to move it. Well, I was going to ride Exeter the following Monday, so I said, oh, take it off, and that was that. Now then, we used to joke with my son, Darren, that it split his eye open at Coventry Speedway in the grandstand, and Tommy Shearer said to him, well, lad, take him to hospital and get it stitched up. He said, but don't let him give you a skin graft. And young Darren says, well, why, Tom? And Tom says, well, they'll take his skin off his cock and he'll end up cock-eyed. Well, that was the joke on Darren. But Darren then came to me, and there I am in hospital with my bloody finger all mangled up. And he said to me, Dad, don't let them give you a skin graft. And I said, well, why not? He said, well, they take the skin from your bottom. And he says, and your finger won't know whether to pick your nose or scratch your backside. So he got his own back on us in the long run anyway.
Yeah, looking back on your career, it was like it went for how many years?
From 1954 until 1980.
Yep. And what was the most satisfying achievements of your career, do you reckon?
Well, I suppose the greatest achievement in my career is I woke up this morning.
That's good. And you won thousands of races. But do any stand out? Anyone in particular that you beat, or do you remember as being particularly pleasurable?
No. As you just said, you wrote thousands of races, and to me, one race was as good as the next, and just the same as I consider that a second half event at Canterbury is equal to a meeting at Wembley in the World Final. It's just another Speedway meeting race, isn't it?
We probably got.
I was let down by the fact that I would ride into the World Final and get to the World Final unbeaten, and then get 4 points in the final itself because, I I was beaten by the fact that it was a world final, I suppose. I enjoyed my life so very, very much that I didn't take care about my weight. I was more concerned with having a full stomach than a lightweight on the scales. But it was an advantage when you think that who gets out of the gate first, the 7-stone man or the 12-stone man. Now then, I didn't put on weight until I got a little bit older, of course, and I used to think that, I can't understand why I'm so bad out of the gate. But of course I was bad out of the gate because I was overweight. I relax in the warmth of Brisbane, but remember the very, very happy times I had in England, in Speedway, and with Speedway people.
And how do you think they'd like to best remember Nigel Boocock?
Well, I can only ask them to remember me as Nigel Boocock. I don't think I'd want to be. I don't know anyone that could retire better than I have.